Hello and welcome everyone to the AM News here on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwebe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to ensure that members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors who are on strike resume work immediately. The directive was disclosed by Minister of State and Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiah Kasalako, during a press briefing in Abuja following the total and indefinite strike declared by the association on Saturday. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pate, and all the top management staff of the ministry says would like to express their gratitude and regrets unconditional apology to Nigerians. The federal government has appealed to the striking resident doctors to consider the efforts being made by the government to address their demands and go back to work. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiah Adekunle Selako, made the appeal during a ministerial press briefing in the ministry. Global Television's health correspondent, Raul Nasir, was at the news briefing and now reports.
The Minister of State for Health said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the ministry to do everything possible to end the strike which started on Saturday. He explained that towards this end, the government has already released the sum of 11.9 billion naira to settle parts of their salary arrears and allowances.
The Minister of Finance has met with them. The Minister of Labour and Productivity has met with them. Minister of State for Finance has also met with them to try and address all the 19-point issues that they raised. And today, I can tell you that most of those issues are being addressed.
The Minister of State apologized to Nigerians who could not access health services within this period and reassured them that it will soon be a history.
We would like to express our regrets and an unconditional apology to Nigerians, especially those who needed to access health care in the last 48 hours, who could not do it as a result of the strike action by National Association of Resident Doctors.
Vice Chairman Committee of Chief Medical Directors and MDS of the Federal Tertiary Health Institutions, Dr. Yahaya Baba Adamu, said all the emergency services would be open and running within this period.
So the Federal Tertiary Health Institution are maintaining their clinics, even though it may not be in full scale as it used to be when all hands were on deck, but they are running.
The event was attended by various stakeholders in the health sector with the permanent secretary of the ministry, among others. Zahra Nasser reporting for Global TV News.
Health correspondent Zahra, thank you so very much. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reaffirmed its total readiness for the Anambra State governorship election scheduled for Saturday, 8th November 2025, assuring citizens and stakeholders of a peaceful, transparent, and credible process. The Commission's chairman, Professor Josh Amokbito, gave the assurance during a high-level inspection visit to the Commission's state office in Awka ahead of a signing of peace accord in the state capital. The chairman also cautioned against what he described as attempts by vested interests to discredit the process, stressing that INEC remains focused and undeterred in the discharge of its constitutional mandate. In another development, ahead of the November 8th governorship election in Anambra State, the Nigeria Police has deployed an advanced tactical team, helicopters, and surveillance drones to the state as part of measures to ensure hitch-free exercise. The Commissioner of Police in Anambra, Ikoyi Oruchugu, disclosed this while addressing journalists in Awka, insisting that the deployment was approved by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. He said the move is in line with the force's strategic operational plan to reinforce local formations with additional manpower and advanced technical support, including area surveillance tools. And still in Nigeria's southeast, Imo State Judiciary has commenced the 2025-2026 legal year with a strong call for judicial reforms, improved welfare for judges, and renewed confidence in the judicial system. Our correspondent, Marachi Ibe, has details.
It was a solemn yet symbolic ceremony at the Justice Oputa High Court Complex, Owerri, as members of the bench, the bar, and top government officials converged to mark the new legal year with the theme Rekindling Judicial Excellence, the bar, the bench, and the burden of restoration. Governor Hope Uzodinma, represented by his deputy Chinyere Komaru, reaffirmed his administration's commitment to upholding judicial independence and ensuring better working conditions for judicial workers.
Restoring judicial excellence is a task that must be accomplished urgently. A lot of people are resorting to self-help, and impunity is growing in the land because the populace are losing faith in the machinery for administration of justice.
The acting Chief Judge of Imo State, Justice Ijeoma Agogua, in her keynote address, reflected on the history and essence of legal year tradition. She called for modernization of court processes through digitalization, improved infrastructure, and stronger protection of citizens' rights. The chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Owerri Branch, Barrister Chris Ihentuge, emphasized cooperation between the bench and the bar and appealed for the resumption of Monday court sittings to ease case congestion.
Let us together build a justice system where the poor can walk into court without fear, where judgments are delivered promptly, and where every arm of government operates in its constitutional space with mutual respect.
Also speaking, the chairman of the Body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, Imo State, Chief Mike Ahamba San, commended the judiciary's resilience and urged continued courage in defending the rule of law. The ceremony ended with renewed commitment from all stakeholders to strengthen justice delivery and uphold the ideas of fairness, integrity, and judicial excellence. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The new president of the Nigerian Navy Officers' Wives Association has taken over the reins of leadership. The handover ceremony held at the association's secretariat in Abuja marks a moment of reflection, gratitude, and renewed commitment to service and community impact. Samuel Odi reports for Global TV News.
The outgoing NOWA president, Mrs. Ijeoma Blessing Ogala, who was represented by the vice president of NOWA, Dr. Zainab Akpan, handed over the mantle of leadership to her successor, Aisha Idi Abbas, in a ceremony attended by senior naval officers' wives, members of the association, and invited guests. In her valedictory speech, Mrs. Akpan expressed appreciation to the Nigerian Navy and members of NOWA for their unwavering support during her tenure. She highlighted the association's achievements in women's empowerment, education, and welfare, describing her years in office as a journey of purpose and collective impact.
At this moment, I wish to sincerely acknowledge and appreciate every member for their support through this journey. Serving as the 22nd Vice President of this distinguished association has been one of the greatest honors of my life, and I will forever hold dearly.
The outgoing president urged every member of the association to throw their weight behind the new president and leadership of NOWA, appreciating the outgoing chief of naval staff for his unwavering support throughout her tenure.
I extend my heartfelt congratulations. I am confident that your leadership will be guided by wisdom, compassion, and vision. And I also believe you will steer this association to even greater heights.
In her acceptance speech, the new NOWA president, Aisha Idi Abbas, commended the outgoing NOWA president for her services to the association and the country at large.
I pledge to build upon the solid foundation you have laid and to uphold the values and principles that define the association. Our role as naval officers' wives is to provide robust support that ensures the well-being and welfare of our members.
As leadership changed hands at NOWA, the spirit of unity and service that has defined the association continues to inspire women within the Nigerian Navy, family, and also a bond of service that extends beyond the uniform of their spouse. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Oh, thank you so very much, Samuel Odi. The crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party appears to be far from over. A faction led by Mohammed Abdulrahman has taken over the party's national secretariat, Wadata Plaza, in Abuja, claiming to be the authentic leadership of the People's Democratic Party. Our political correspondent, Ubang Usoro, now reports.
Tensions heightened today at the Wadata Plaza headquarters of the People's Democratic Party as a faction loyal to the National Secretary, Senator Sam Anyanwu, stormed the secretariat alongside Mohammed Abdulrahman, who declared himself the new chairman of the party. Until its emergence, Abdulrahman served as the vice chairman of the North Central Zone of the PDP. He was declared acting national chairman on the 3rd of November 2025 by a faction of the National Working Committee led by Senator Anyanwu. After his inauguration, Abdulrahman pledged to unite the party and restore internal democracy, promising to, in his word, heal the PDP of its wound and end factionalism.
Now we can put our head together to make sure that we bring this party to where it belongs to. We all know the slogan of our party is People's Democratic Party, and the power is to the one.
The takeover occurred amid heavy security presence around the secretariat to prevent any breakdown of law and order. Prominent PDP figures, including former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, have, however, welcomed Abdulrahman's emergence, describing it as a new beginning for the party. As at the time of this report, calm has returned to the area, though the party remains sharply divided over its leadership structure. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
Away from politics now, the Federal Ministry of Environment, through the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HARIP, recently hosted a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt to discuss strategic steps towards environmental protection in Ogoniland. Again, here are details by Ubong Usoro.
Following the approval of recommendations by Professor Dam, Barry Dam's Technical Committee for the Center of Excellence and Environmental Restoration, CEER, the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas, reaffirms government's commitment to ensuring a cleaner and safer Ogoniland. Speaking at the meeting, Professor Nani Barini Zabi said the gathering marks a critical milestone in government's efforts to implement the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP recommendations in the region. He emphasized that the provision of potable water, shoreline cleanup, and mangrove restoration remains key priorities.
In line with the directives contained in the Hybrid Establishment Gazette, the establishment of the Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration is a key recommendation of the United Nations Environment Programme report on Ogoniland.
But after everything would have finished about oil exploration or maybe our cleanup, this is what we are going to see. Now, since it's a key recommendation.
Delivering the keynote address, international researcher Professor Craig Sample noted that innovation, operational methods can further enhance sustainability and accelerate the pace of cleanup projects in Ogoniland.
And that collaboration is not just about bringing researchers from the university sector together or from research institutes. It's also about bringing in
Stakeholders at the meeting agreed that collaboration, transparency, and effective monitoring remains essential to achieving lasting restoration and rebuilding the trust of the Ogoni people. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State has called on Christians and Muslims to live together in peace and harmony, urging mutual respect and appreciation of the differences that exist between both faiths. He made the call at the government house in Gusau when he received the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria and heads of various Christian denominations who paid him an appreciation visit. The governor commended the association's chairman, Evangelist Jibril Afolabi, and other Christian leaders for their visits, describing it as a demonstration of unity and goodwill. He reiterated his administration's commitment to ensuring the welfare and comfort of all Christians in the state. You're watching the live broadcast of the AM News here on Global Television. When we return, we'll bring you more stories from the different segments. Please stay with us. Thank you so very much for staying with us. This second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. Across Nigeria, young people are seizing digital opportunities to redefine their work and create new career paths in fast-changing world. As innovation reshapes every sector, how ready are Nigerian youths to compete in this digital economy? Siddharth Griba takes a look at the digital opportunities and now reports.
Nigeria's youth population is turning technology into a tool for empowerment. From coding and data analysis to digital marketing and design, tech skills are opening doors to new forms of employment and entrepreneurship, both locally and globally. Unlike many traditional jobs that are shrinking, the tech industry keeps expanding, offering young Nigerians flexible options like remote work, freelancing, and global job placement.
It's a very good welcome idea to the economy as large, because if you look at the system, even the economy, there is no job. So if youth have that privilege to get online texting and they're making something, I believe it's something that everyone can do.
To build on this momentum, both government and private initiatives are driving digital empowerment. The National Information Technology Development Agency's 3 Million Technical Talent Program, for instance, is training thousands of youths in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and data science. However, challenges such as unstable power supply, poor internet connectivity, and the high cost of learning materials continue to hinder many young people from reaching their full digital potential.
The benefit of the online skills people are learning today, it's very important. The benefits, one of the benefits is it brings more income, more economics development to the country, and it also improve the standards of our economics.
So it's very beneficial, especially to our youth these days, because there's no job in the country. But online you can get a job if you can just spare your time 2 hours, 3 hours a day. You'll be able at the end of the week to earn some dollars. And when that comes into your account and you change it to Naira, you have some money to keep body and soul together and forge ahead.
Experts say incorporating digital education into school curriculums and making tech training more accessible could unlock massive economic growth and help Nigeria harness its youthful population effectively. As Nigeria races towards a digital future, the focus must shift from awareness to real action, empowering every young Nigerian with the skills to thrive in a technology-driven world. Siddharth Griba for Global Television.
Thank you, Siddharth. Oil marketers have described the recent introduction of 15% import duty on petrol and diesel by the federal government as very challenging and one that would lead to an increase in the price of petroleum products. Besides, the government is making it difficult for players who are importing petroleum products to make up for the shortfall from the local refiners who they said are not producing enough to meet local demand. President Bola Tinubu had some days ago approved a 15% ad valorem import duty on diesel and petrol. Now time to take you to the foreign scene. Kenya opposition leaders have condemned Tanzanian election as a sham amid reports of mass casualties and a digital blackout, questioning President Ruto's silence as regional stability hangs in the balance. Kenya politician Martha Karua, Professor Kivutha Kibwana, and Kenya Human Rights Commissioner Kwamsheti Makoha gave the press statements on the situation in Tanzania, where hundreds are feared dead after post-election protests.
The Kenyan political figures, in their fierce condemnation of the electoral exercise and its outcome, labeled the landslide victory of President Samia Suluhu Hassan a fraudulent exercise conducted amid a violent state crackdown and a communications blackout, calling on regional institutions to show leadership. Their remarks made at a press conference in Nairobi amplify regional concerns over a deepening political crisis in the neighboring country that threatens East African stability.
Anybody who tries to legitimize what has happened in Tanzania does not wish Tanzania well, does not wish Africa well. We need to overcome the impunity that has become king in the region of East Africa and in parts of Africa. We are looking for leadership from the AU, from the sub-regional bodies.
Kivutha Kibwana is a Kenyan politician and human rights activist. He was Minister for Defense, Minister for Environment, and a member of the parliament for the Makueni constituency in the East African country. By his assessment, he says the scale of human rights concerns left in the wake of the Tanzanian election makes it impossible to rate the exercise as credible.
Given the human rights and current security situation in Tanzania, it is impossible to say that credible elections took place on Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. It is now day 5 of the internet blackout amidst mass killings and a fraudulent electoral process.
The Electoral Commission said Hassan won 97.66% of the votes, with turnouts at 87%, despite reports from journalists and other observers that polling stations were largely empty.
And now it's time to take into the world of sports. Nigeria's athletics team for the 2025 Islamic Solidarity Games has been unveiled on the event's official website, with African champion and Commonwealth Games medalist Chukwuebuka Enekwechi leading a 25 athletes contingent determined to make a strong statement in Saudi Arabia. The 6th edition of the Islamic Solidarity Games will be staged from November 7 to 21 at the Prince Faisal bin Fahd Sports City Stadium, a 22,000 capacity venue set to host some of the continent's finest athletes. Nigeria has a modest record in athletics at the Islamic Solidarity Games, having won 3 silver and 1 bronze medal in 2017, the only edition where it reached the podium in track and field. Overall, Nigeria has 11 medals in the game's history across various sports. The league phase of the 2025-2026 UEFA Champions League has hit its halfway mark on Tuesday and Wednesday. Match day 4 arrives with drama scripted across Europe. 18 games, countless storylines on a stage where heroes, heartbreak and history are never far apart. From Anfield to Paris, Turin to Prague, the world's greatest club competition enters its next act. It's going to be fun and drama all in one, no doubt about that. And that's all we have for you on the AM News here on Global Television. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, it's our pleasure to remind you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We encourage you to engage with us and also subscribe across social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Oyag Mofwebe, and Global Morning is up next.